Hello folks, welcome back to ESC Adam, and oh boy, there's been a lot of news in the past few days, even after I made my last video. We're not going to cover everything in depth this time. I might split it across another video for certain things, but we are going to talk about some of the key things. First and foremost, Moldova's back. This really makes me happy because I remember last year I did a video on my main channel about how when Moldova said they were backing out for 2025 and how I sort of see them as part of like the beating heart of Eurovision. Their songs might not always be the best, and of course they've never won, but 9 times out of 10 their songs are really memorable, can often display a fascinating part of the Moldovan culture, and also just because they're one of the smallest countries that take part in Eurovision, losing them felt bigger than a lot of other countries, to be honest. But they are officially back. It's happening. We can all breathe a sigh of relief. Now, you may remember in 2025, they were meant to compete, but they withdrew themselves as they felt that the entrants for their national selection that year were basically not of a good quality, which is a pretty scathing way to go about it, really, but that's what they went with. So why are they back now? Going off a post from Blogs, which of course is one of the biggest Eurovision sites out there, this is regarding the new national selection format. It says, following consultations with artists, producers and key figures from the local music industry, TRM, the broadcaster, has decided to shake things up. It's going to implement a new national selection format, reportedly inspired by successful European models, but adapted to Moldovan musical traditions and talent. 2 official producers are going to steer it. One of them is Sergei Orlov, who is a Eurovision veteran with extensive experience supporting artists on the international stage. The other is Roman Burlaca, who's one of Moldova's most acclaimed music video directors and producers, known for his collaborations with top Moldovan artists. And it does seem like they're going to go big, because they announced this in a press conference at like the main arena in their capital, which apparently has never been done before. So it seems like they want to come back and step things up a bit. When they say that they're going off European models, I've seen a lot of people say, is it going to be like a Moldovan Melfest, which of course is the Swedish model, which takes place over several weeks and is this big lavish event within Sweden itself. I don't know whether it's going to get to the Melfest level, but it really seems like there's this fresh injection of new enthusiasm, new ideas, and hopefully just a better process that's going to give Moldova some really strong candidates to send over to Vienna in 2026. It says song submissions are going to open on November the 7th, and the window's going to stay open for 30 days. And then I'm assuming that the actual final is going to take place. I think they confirmed it actually, didn't they? It's sometime in January, maybe January the 17th, so not that far away. The executive supervisor of Eurovision, Martin Green, also shared his excitement about their return. He said, "We're delighted to welcome TRM back to the contest after a year of absence. Moldova's return reminds us of the power of our community, the strength of our values, and what it truly means to be united through music." So at the moment, you know, because no countries have officially withdrawn, if you're assuming that all 37 countries from Basel this year are going, that now makes 40 with the re-addition of Moldova, but also Bulgaria and Romania. We talked a bit about their return in a previous video and the statements issued there if you haven't seen it. But this does still maintain the questions, some of which were posed. Is this just an effort to get people back to compensate that broadcasters might withdraw if Israel participates? We know, at least if Israel stay, that it seems likely that Spain, the Netherlands, Ireland and Slovenia will back out. That will take the total down to 36, including the 3 countries that are returning, which you could say, yes, that's enough to do Eurovision, but financially, I really don't think the numbers add up, particularly as Moldova is one of the smallest nations. I don't think them combined with Bulgaria and Romania is not going to make up the shortfall. Countries like, you know, Spain and the Netherlands in particular are going to leave. But this raises the question about who else might be coming back. I touched on it very, very briefly, but there are talks that North Macedonia, who haven't partaken since 2022, might also be on their way to come back. Now, I think every year, you know, with various countries that don't take part anymore, there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of comment of, oh, so-and-so will come back, based on little evidence, really. I saw on X, formerly Twitter, there was a post going around leaking something to do with, like, the North Macedonian broadcasters, like, financial sheets or something like that, and how a certain portion was allocated to what was termed as the Eurovision project. And I think the broadcaster and North Macedonia generally has been enthusiastic about coming back. They've just been prevented for one reason or another. There's reportedly already an artist lined up who he himself claimed was going to do it in 2027, so you'd like to think that might be more of a given. But even though these financial things have been posted out there, I've seen comments of Eurofans from all over Europe say we've sort of seen similar before from North Macedonia in recent years, where supposedly money's there, but then it never goes through with anything. Time is ticking in terms of confirming participation as well. In fact, I think that deadline had already passed, but with all these returning broadcasters, who knows if any of those deadlines are going to stay strict. It would be great if North Macedonia came back. You know, to have a really busy contest. You know, a lot of people say the benchmark is like, if we can have 40 plus countries in the contest, then that is a sign of a really positive, healthy Eurovision. Obviously, back in the 2000s, when the contest really expanded in the 2010s, hitting over 40 countries happened on the regular. But then you've got to factor in things like you have countries who took part that no longer do, such as Turkey, Slovakia, Bosnia and Herzegovina. You then also have the banned countries like Belarus and Russia, who will always participate in right up until 2022. So to still crack over 40 countries potentially would be good. And really, I think by now, if North Macedonia do return and Israel get booted out, then by my math, that still makes... What's that then? That still makes 40 countries. First time since 2022, if that's the case. Obviously, we don't know. That's going to be decided at the EBU General Assembly in December. Early December, I think, as well. That's going to inform where Vienna goes, I suppose, and whether a lot of people are going to go, full stop. So North Macedonia returning, not confirmed. Some people on forums I've seen have said it's almost likely, just hasn't been confirmed yet. We'll wait and see. But hey, if we've already got 3 returning countries, that's more than I ever anticipated would come back. So it's already a winner in my book, but if we can get 4th, even better. There's also the news of a potential new country debuting. I'm only going to talk about this very briefly. I want to serve the bulk of it for another video, but you may have seen rumblings, and in fact, even a confirmation from Martin Green, again, the executive supervisor, saying that they're in early discussions with the CBC of Canada to potentially partake in the contest. Now, this was first sort of seen from CBC documents, but I think an official confirmation from someone that high up in the organization, it seems like they want them in. Now, they're saying it's early discussions. As to whether or not they'll get that all done for Vienna, it remains to be seen. Obviously, that would be a great coup for them. You know, it's the 70th anniversary, and just like Australia 10 years ago, to have another new debuting country would be great. The CBC of Canada is like Australia. They are an associate member of the EBU, so they'd have to have invitation, which it sounds like it's all but confirmed. You know, these early discussions, an invitation could be coming. But again, as to whether or not Canada's going to be ready in time for Vienna 2026, I don't know. But in terms of anniversary opportunities, it would be amazing if they could. You know, the more, the merrier. And it does. I've seen some people complain saying, well, it's different because Australia's been broadcasting Eurovision for decades and Canada doesn't have that same history. I understand that, but personally, I just think the more nations who debut, the more who come and play, I think it's for the better. But yeah, I want to talk more about the bulk of that in another video, which hopefully you will see soon. And to cap things off, we have the most recent bit of news revealed that today, the day I'm recording this, we have our first artist for Vienna 2026, and it's Antigoni, who's going to represent Cyprus at Vienna 2026. That makes Cyprus the first country to announce their artist, and I think that was the case last year with Theo Evan as well. Cyprus really coming in early there. They are the first to confirm their artist. Now, Antigoni, she has been, as many people I've seen in the comments have said, she's been in Love Island. Yes, Love Island UK of all things. She was in Series 8 back in 2022. Didn't get to the final, didn't win, but she was in it. And I believe she heralds from North London originally as well. So she's the first artist to be confirmed. Obviously, we don't know the song, but the ball is really starting to roll. If you thought confirmations of, you know, the host city, dates, national finals being confirmed, I think it really starts now, doesn't it, when we start getting the confirmed artists for next year. So congrats to Antigoni, who's going to represent Cyprus. Looking forward to seeing what song is going to be used to represent her. Is it going to be like Fuego? Because ever since they did Fuego all those years ago, you know, they've found that hard to let go. But hey, we'll wait and see. But yes, first artist confirmed. Out of how many countries? It's remained to be seen. But that is all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this little update, then do leave a like on it. It does really help us out on the channel. Subscribe to us here at ESC Adam as well. I'm hoping to do more of these, either like, you know, updates, the road to Vienna next year, road to 2026, just general updates for Eurovision. So subscribe if you want to see more of that, and other videos as well, particularly when we get international final season. I haven't even forgotten Junior Eurovision's on in December, so that's a whole thing to potentially cover. Leave your comments down below as well about all these news items. What are your thoughts on them? But in the meantime, I've been Adam from ESC Adam. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.